We got good things. We got so many fun things to talk about. So welcome everybody. Nikki, we're so glad that you're here with us. Lots of noise, so we're gonna go ahead and mute everybody right now. Not for too long though, because I want to start this call off properly with some celebrations and victories of the past week. So let's take just a couple of minutes and share that and get some really awesome energy up and going. So does anybody want to share or victories that they had or wins or anything, big or small, doesn't matter. Nikki, let me unmute you. Okay, darling. No? No? Nothing? Well, I think it's a victory that you're on this call, given everything you're going through in Florida. So
that's yes.
A big victory, dear. Awesome. That's all right. All right, anybody else want to share anything that's going on? Stacy.
Well, I think you probably know my victory, but I put a couple of different laws into practice this week. Mm-hmm. First one didn't work so well, so I ended up using now my mind is blank and I can't find the paper. I cleared the space.
Oh, the vacuum law?
Yes.
Prosperity.
I started in one room and ended up just going all over the house, and I got rid of like half of the things in my house. So it feels good.
Awesome.
But I cleared out a bookshelf in my room where I just had old books that I've read once, and I didn't want to give them away. And I thought, I'll never read them again. So I gave them all away, and I put certain things on certain shelves, and then I left one shelf completely open. I said, this is where I'm going to put everything that I'm going to get from you, and voila.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
3 days.
Wow. 3 days. I'm so excited. Can I tell everybody, or do you want to tell everybody?
No, go for it.
So Stacy's coming to the Foundations Intensive as my personal guest because she has stepped into private mentoring, and I'm so excited to work with her. We get to start tomorrow, so it's so much fun. And when we spoke, it was, I don't know where money is going to come from, but it's going to come from somewhere. And by golly, it did in what, 4 days, 3 days?
3 days. Yeah.
3 days. Yeah.
And then I had it all on by Monday. So.
Yeah, just it's amazing how things fall into place when you just focus on your goal and this is what we're doing and I'm moving towards it, instead of, oh, well, if I can manifest it, then I'll do it. I always know whenever I talk to somebody who says, I got to manifest it and then I'll do it, I'll never do it because I don't know how. And instead of like, yes, this is what we're going to do, and I don't know how, we just know that it will. And then miraculous things happen. So super exciting. Very big victory. All right. Anybody else have a victory that they want to share before we jump in? Is that Syra saying yes? All right, my dear, you're unmuted.
Well, I just want to share that the last 2 calls I wasn't able to be live. That's so funny because all these things that people were posting that was happening to them, same things were happening to me. Like someone posted they cleaned out something, and I had cleaned out my garage and I hadn't even listened to the call. So it was so weird that we were all connected and doing like the same things, even though I hadn't even I hadn't even listened to the call. So I thought that was like pretty amazing, kind of like, I don't know, I just love it because even though I'm behind, I'm not really behind. Like I'm at everyone's level. So I just feel like so amazed.
Yep.
So just a victory. I was in a relationship and I was having a hard time. Like I just had fear of letting it go, and I was able to let it go. And I feel so peaceful. Like I haven't even cried. I know that I didn't leave that person feeling bad either. Like I made them feel like valuable and loved. So I was able to do it in a, because you've taught us to send love, and So I feel like I made him feel important and valuable, but he's a nice guy, just not my guy.
Uh-huh.
And it just feel like not heavy or anything. It's like so weird. Like I'm like, shouldn't I be crying? Or I don't know. It's just amazing all these little things that have been happening to me with my relationships.
Wow.
Those
That is awesome. Everybody, woo! Congrats. You know, we talk of, and it seems to have this belief in society that ending a relationship has to have all kinds of drama to it and has to have all kinds of horrible experiences. I mean, you hear about like this nightmare of divorces and things, and it doesn't have to be that way. It can be a beautiful experience for everyone. So congrats. I'm super excited for you, and now how you've opened yourself up to an even better relationship, the one that's for you. So thank you for sharing. That's awesome. Very exciting. Very exciting. All right. Are we ready to get going? Oh, talking about subconscious reprogramming, ladies, I could talk about this for years. I can't even get enough of it. But we're going to start this off properly. Let's do a little bit of energy work so we can get everybody in a really good space. And Rita, we're so glad that you've joined us too. Your post indicated that it wasn't going to happen, and look, miracles happen for you too. So it's awesome. All right, so if everybody wants to take a nice deep breath, and we're just going to open up lots of light for everyone. We're going to shut down those negative voices, the fears, the doubts, the disbelief, the spinning, the chatter. We're just going to shut those down and open up light. And let's get everybody connected. We're going to connect everybody to the infinite flow of money. That's funny. That's the very first one that came up. Well, we're in a prosperity group, so of course you would be connected to the infinite flow of money. Let's connect everybody to the moment. Feels like we need a connection to our higher selves and our intuition. And connecting you to the belief and the frequency that everything always works out for me. Everything always works out for me. Just going to open up our third chakra. That's where we hold our confidence and our power and our self-esteem. So we're going to open that up. We're going to clean it out too. It feels like it's a little bit gunky, at least as a whole. Some of you might be thinking, no, I'm rock solid, which is great. There are others that aren't feeling quite so rock solid. So we're just going to clean that out and infuse it with that beautiful yellow light. That's the color of the third chakra. We clear out some negative and false beliefs. Ooh, and we're going to talk about those tonight and what you can do to remove those too. Anything else? Okay, one more big breath. One more big breath. We're just going to send everybody everything that they need. Rita has put in an order for miracles, so we're just going to send that energy to her as well. And for all of us too, who couldn't use a miracle, right? Okay. Oh, that feels good. Okay. I was on the ball today and got the notes for you, or the handouts for you uploaded in there. So if you have them, I want you to use them. If you don't have your notes, I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen or a pencil, some sort of writing implement, so that you can take notes, because we're going to do some visual things today that are going to be enormously helpful. So you can see really what's going on behind the scenes in your mind. So we've parted the curtain behind what's going on around us with the universal laws. So now we get to part the curtain and see what's going on inside us, so you can understand more fully how you're creating, how your stance changes and influences everything that you do. And our mind is our greatest tool. We're going to go into prosperity mindset today and really dig into the subconscious. And it's so fun. What an amazing miracle world, magical world that the subconscious is. So we're going to start out with a quote that's on your handout. Einstein said, "Any intelligent fool can make things bigger, more complex, and more violent. It takes a touch of genius and a lot of courage to move in the opposite direction." So I don't know about you, but I used to be really intimidated by my subconscious. Anybody ever been like, if you hear like, oh, you've got subconscious programs running and you don't even know it, anybody ever heard that before? I used to think, oh, I'm screwed then. I don't even know what program is running, so how do I know how to change it? And the subconscious was painted as this just really deep, effervescent kind of a thing, this ethereal, like, we don't know, you've just got to work with me and I'll change it. But it's actually really easy and really fun to work with your subconscious. So first we need to establish what it is. Now, your mind is the most powerful computer in the world, and you create your reality according to the vibration of your thoughts and your beliefs. So we all have programs that have been installed, and they run at a frequency that is much lower than the reality that we want. And we know that because we're not in that reality yet. So most of the time we're in this frequency that's not conducive to the life that we want to build. And we know the proof of that because it lies in our circumstances. So if you're looking around, you're like, everything is a big mess. Okay, so let's clean up the internal so that we can then, it'll naturally clean itself up on the external. So what I want you to do first of all is I want you to draw a circle about the size of a grapefruit on your page. So if it's in your notes or if it's just on a blank piece of paper, just draw a circle about the size of a grapefruit in there. And then in the middle of it, I want you to draw a horizontal line that splits the two. Okay, it doesn't matter where it is, it just needs to be a horizontal line, so it's like a hamburger. You're going to split those two. And then we're going to do a little bit of labeling and discuss what they each are. So on the top, you're going to write conscious, because this is a representation of our mind and how it all works. Our mind actually has 4 parts to it, but we're gonna label them. But most people will teach you the 2 parts to your mind, the conscious and the subconscious. So let's talk about the conscious first. Characteristics of our conscious mind. Our conscious mind is what makes decisions. Our conscious mind can create new ideas. It can accept ideas or reject ideas. In a nutshell, our conscious is our awareness, right? It's our awareness of everything that's going on. It makes judgments, makes judgment calls all the time. And this is our awareness. It's our conscious mind. Underneath that, I want you to write subconscious. And our subconscious mind is where the party happens. Okay? This is what runs all of our belief programs and all of our belief systems. It also runs all of the automatic functions in our body. So our blinking, our breathing, our heart beating, our digestion, everything is run by the subconscious. Our subconscious is a fabulous thing. We love our subconscious. If we had to remember to swallow and to blink and to take a breath consciously, that we would, well, first of all, we wouldn't live for very long because we'd forget one of those. Oh crap, I gotta blink and breathe at the same time. Like, we wouldn't live for very long, and that we would be all consumed with that. So we need the subconscious to run all of our automatic programs. So we love it. The job of the subconscious is to keep us alive and to keep us safe. Okay, and that's very important to remember. The subconscious is not the enemy, or sometimes we call it our ego side. It's not the enemy. Okay, it's here to keep us alive and safe, and that's it. Okay, and then when we introduce these weird things called dreams and I want to reach my goals, it goes, whoa, we don't know how to live there. We know how to live here. You're alive, you're safe, I'm doing my job. We don't want to change anything. Okay, so that's what you're working with in the subconscious. Now, the subconscious is also the center for your emotions. Okay, that's really important to remember. It's also called your heart or your spirit. Okay, so if somebody is telling you to get out of your head and into your heart, what they're essentially telling you is to get out of your conscious and get into your subconscious and work there. Okay, now we have that horizontal line between the two, and that's called the reticular activating system. You can put RAS for short. You can also put filter. The reticular activating system works as a filter or a buffer between your conscious and subconscious minds. Oh, do I want to? Yeah, I want to give you, as we're fleshing this out, our conscious and our subconscious minds and how we work with it, I want to give you another visual. So, I mean, we're pretty static here, like, oh, okay, here's the conscious and here's the subconscious, and it's split in the middle, and it's really not. And then some people say, oh, you have a tiny little part that's your conscious, and all this underneath, that's the subconscious. But you want to think of your conscious and your subconscious minds like the ocean. And it's all like the ocean is all one thing, right? So we get into the ocean and we enter the ocean through the surface. So there's our conscious. But there's no like, okay, and now here's the line, and now we got to dive deep into the subconscious or dive deep into the ocean. Like, it all just is. Okay, so when you're working with the subconscious, it's not like, okay, so now I need to go into my subconscious, kind of like the ocean. Okay, I'm in the top part of the ocean, and now I need to go into the lower part of the ocean where other things happen. You know, now a lot of the activity goes on the surface. You know, we can have waves, we can have wind, we can have all of that. And as we go lower and deeper into the ocean, there's less light and it's more murky and things, but it's still the ocean. And so I want you to think about that as I'm giving you techniques to use as you're reprogramming your subconscious, that it's like, oh, this is easy. This is fun. I can just command it, and it's listening, and it's here. We're going to talk a little bit about hypnosis. We're going to talk a little bit about how all of that works. We might not get into it in this call, but definitely in the next call. But I want to take the whole like mystery out of the subconscious, because it's actually a lot of fun to work there. And it can be easy and it can be light. And that's the whole point. We really want it to be easy and light and fun when we're working with the subconscious. Okay, so let's go back to the filter. Now, the filter distinguishes between truth and lies. So this is one of the characteristics about how it acts as a buffer between the two. It can distinguish between truth and lies, and it allows your conscious mind to kick out ideas if they're not deemed valid. Like, no, that's not going to work. I like to call it the bouncer. So a lot of times we'll have an idea, it'll hit that filter, and it will just boom, bounce right out. So I like to call it the bouncer. Now, the filter is not fully in place until we're about 8 years old. And that's why you can tell a small child literally anything, and they will take you at your word, and they will take you literally, because that reticular activating system isn't in place yet. And most of our subconscious programming happens in childhood, not because we had evil parents, and not because there's evil everywhere, but it's not like society's out to get us, although some people could argue that. But we have programming that happens. We got it from our parents, the way our parents modeled, the way our parents spoke to us and to each other, and we listened and we created beliefs around that. What our peers were talking to us about, other authority figures like teachers and things. And so we had all of these ideas that were implanted in us, and beliefs that we just created out of our environment. Okay, yes, that's one of the reasons why age is called the age of accountability, because that's when it's fully in place, and 8-year-olds can start to distinguish more between abstract thinking and literal thinking, and their brains are developing more along those lines. Yeah, really cool. Okay, so we have these beliefs and these programs that are, going on around here underneath the filter. And these programs come back to haunt us when we want to create something different in our lives, when we want to have a different experience in our lives. Now, ideas and beliefs will stay in the subconscious mind until another belief takes over. Okay, so we've got these programs that are installed. So what we want to do is install and run a different program so that now we can create a different vibration, we can create a different inner stance, which then has to create a different outcome for you. Now, I read this book called Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harv Eker. Fabulous book. I love this book. And he was talking about the conscious and the subconscious, and how we create our lives, likening it to like a computer program, and we print something out. So let's say we have a Word document, we print something out, and there's a typo there. and we say, oh my goodness, there's a typo. Oh my gosh. All right, where's the eraser? All right, I'm going to get the eraser. I'm going to erase it here on this paper. And now I'm going to print the paper out again. So you print the paper out again, and oh my goodness, the same typo was there. All right, so let's get a bigger eraser. All right, I'm going to get a bigger eraser and erase it off this paper, and then let's print it out again. And what in the world? Okay, so now I'm going to visualize this clean sheet of paper without any typos on it, and I'm going to feel it, and I'm going to love it, and I'm going to erase it on this paper, and we're going to print it out again, and here we go. Most people behave that way in what they're wanting to create. We've got to go to the program. We've got to fix the typo that's in the program so that we can then print it, so that it'll print out what we want it to say in our lives. Okay, so it's the same idea with us and how we're creating. If we want to change our circumstances, we don't go crazy about changing our circumstances. We go crazy about changing our inner stance. And that's what changes our circumstances. It's super, super cool. All right. So most of us will agree that having money is a good thing, right? Consciously, we agree on that. Yeah, having money is a good thing. Money's not good, it's not bad. It just is. Money is neutral. And money can really bless our lives and the lives of the people around us, and can bless the entire world. So consciously, we're all in agreement about that. However, when we start working with money, if we have a lot or if we don't have enough, we get some really interesting thoughts and ideas that start to bubble up around money. Like, I feel so guilty if I ever spend money on me. Anybody ever thought that before? I'll spend money on my kids all day long, but I've been wearing the same pair of jeans for about 5 years. Yeah, and I'm just giving you examples, not my own examples. I would love to be in the same pair of jeans I was in 5 years ago. However, that's, we'll work on that reality a little bit later. But we have these misconceptions like, I'm either not worthy of money, or we feel guilty around money, or we have a really hard time receiving money. Like, we feel like we've got to earn it. We have to prove that we can handle it. Like, we get really funky around money, even though consciously and intellectually we're like, well, of course I'm worthy and deserving of money. Of course we want to have the best of what we want to enjoy in our lives. And of course, I'm worthy to have my dreams and my goals come true. But we've got all of this programming that's going on underneath the surface, and we can tell because of how we feel and the thoughts that bubble up in the surface. It's really fun because when you get into subconscious reprogramming, you don't have to put on the scuba gear and dive really, really deep. They bubble up to the surface. Like, you can tell somebody's programming just by talking to them about money for 5 minutes. What's the language that they use around money? What's the language you use around money? Oh, it's a necessary evil. Oh, it's a love-hate relationship. Oh, it's never enough. Or I love it, I always have enough for my needs. Or it's so much fun to be able to spend it on our children and to be able to invest in different things. It's really interesting when you listen to the languaging around money, because that will tell us where our beliefs are. Now, Bob Proctor says, words are noise, vibrations never lie. Words are noise, vibrations never lie. And I want to dissect that for just a minute. Let's see, Tia has a comment. My mother-in-law and her sister both wanted a KitchenAid and wouldn't buy it for themselves, so they bought one for each other while they were together. Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. But you know what? That's really clever. Let's get around the subconscious programming here. I'll buy one for you, and you can buy one for me, and then neither of us will feel bad. That is actually pretty clever that they did that. But wouldn't it be wonderful if instead of having to maneuver like that it's like, oh my gosh, I want one. Let's get one. Oh, this will be great. Instead of, and this is what I'm going to do to justify this $300 purchase. I'm going to make rules every week, and I'm going to give them to the sick and the afflicted. And I'm going to, maybe just we get really funny about that. So Bob Proctor says, words are noise, vibrations never lie. And he's absolutely right. Now, are words powerful? Yes, words are also very, very powerful. But when we're talking about, and we're going to talk about affirmations tonight, and we're going to talk about our languaging and our words, it's really important to understand that the underlying vibration is what runs the show. And that comes from our subconscious. Okay, so this is what happens. Actually, hang on, are we going to, no, I'm getting ahead of myself here. So, but let me give you an example. So I was walking past the television the other day and My Little Pony was on. Anybody have kids? Anybody ever seen My Little Pony? Hey, My Little Pony is awesome. They have such great messages. And everyone in my family except me is a My Little Pony fanatic. I enjoy it, but I'm not like, oh, I need to watch the next episode. Okay. So I happen to be walking by and it's on. And I don't even know the names of the ponies, but one of them was trying to turn a salt shaker into a teacup. And she kept saying, teacup, teacup, teacup. And the salt shaker wasn't doing anything. And she was like, why isn't this working? And the other one is like changing things all over the place. And he was like, why is it working for you and it's not working for me? And she said, well, so-and-so, whatever your name is, can't just say teacup all the time and expect it to change. You need to picture it. What does your teacup look like in your mind? And she was like, oh, teacup. And then suddenly, boom, the salt shaker turned into a teacup. And she got so excited that she started changing everything in the whole room into different teacups. So, but it was very fun. I was like, that is a principle. That is a true principle that those pony was teaching the other character, that we can say wealthy, rich, healthy, successful, loving relationship. Like we can say that all day long. But if our underlying vibration is frustration and why isn't this working and it hasn't happened yet and what are you picturing? She was in that vibration of it not working, and so it wasn't working. It wasn't until she flipped it where she pictured it in her mind. Oh, what does it look like? Oh, it's pink and it has swirls. Boom, there it came. Okay, now this was an example of instant manifestation, and most of us don't manifest things instantly because we're in this buffer of time. But as you continue to picture what it is that you want and go into detail about what it is you want, more importantly, how it is you're going to feel when you get it, as if it's already here, that is what turns the switch on to bring it to you. All right? Have you ever met somebody that immediately you wanted to be best friends with just because you felt so good around them? Anybody had that experience? Like, oh my gosh, we've got to be soul sisters. I don't know what this is, but I feel like I know you forever and I want to take you to lunch and I want you to meet my family. Like, they have a really great vibration. You feel really good. Have there been other people where you like get the whole creepy vibe from them or the whole, oh no, I can't be around you? Okay, we're all connected energetically and we pick up on each other's vibrations on a subconscious level. And when we're aware, it hits us really quickly, like, oh no, let's stay away, or, oh yes, embrace this one. Have you ever come home to a grumpy spouse or a grumpy child, or have they come home? Like, you don't have to say one word. You don't have to say one word, and you're like, I'm gonna leave the room until you calm down, because this is a little bit scary. I have a 14-year-old son, and we like to call him our rage monster, because 13 and 14-year-old boys, for some reason, are just filled with so much anger and so much rage. And he would come home from school and he would just, like, I could see this dark cloud around him because of the vibration that he was in. And I was like, oh my word, hon, take a breath and calm down and let's get some oils on you so that we get you in a different vibration so that you're not continually affecting us, right? So we've got to get our minds to turn our body into the prosperity machine that we know that it is. And so, you know how I talked about, well, we have 2 parts to the mind. We actually have 4 parts to the mind. So we've got the conscious, we've got the subconscious, we've got the reticular activating system, and then we actually have the body. The body is part of the mind. So I want you to draw like a little neck or a little body, and then like a circle, and then arms and legs, so that we can create a little body on our mind. Okay, because our body is part of how we create, especially on this physical realm. Okay. Marilyn Janae says in her book, Feel Free to Prosper, in order to manifest our desires, the conscious and subconscious minds must agree on the idea. Okay, so we can say wealth, 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 wealth as much as we want, but if the subconscious is not agreeing on that, it's going to take a very long time to manifest the wealth or the prosperity that you're wanting. Does it mean you never will get it? No, it doesn't. It just means it's going to take a whole lot longer if they're in disagreement about it. Now, this is where getting them to agree gets a little bit tricky. Okay, now I really want to take the false belief of it's hard to reprogram your subconscious. Like, we just want to annihilate that. It's not hard. It can get a little tricky. Okay? Has anybody ever tried to move 3 lanes of traffic in rush hour? Anybody had to do that before? Is that hard? No, it's tricky. It's not hard though. It's tricky. You gotta time it, and you gotta look for the space. In fact, and that's exactly what we need to do with our subconscious minds. We've got to open the space and look for that space. And if you want a nice little tip for navigating through heavy traffic, ask your angels to open up a space for you, and they will do it. I do this all the time when I'm in traffic. I got to turn left, and I'm like, oh, all right, angels, open up a space for me. And within like 2 seconds, usually it's immediate, boom, there's space. It's the coolest thing ever. So there's a little traffic tip there for you. Okay. All right, we got to open up space. Okay. Now, let's talk about our body for just a minute. I want you to draw your body, and I want you to draw little squiggly lines that are coming out of the body. Okay, so you know, like how if somebody has like a exciting moment, and then they've got those lines that come out like woo woo, like electricity. So you're just going to do squiggly lines that represent vibration. So we've got our conscious mind, we've got our subconscious mind, and your mind and your thoughts are what turn your body into a magnet on a vibrational level, and that's what creates your circumstances. So what we get to do is we get to get our body into a higher vibration and get it to hold it, because our body is very comfortable in the vibration that you have going on right now, because that's what it's used to. That's the level that it's used to. Have you ever met somebody who's really wealthy and you kind of feel uncomfortable in their presence, almost like you don't really deserve to be there with them? They hold a higher vibration, and what you're feeling and experiencing is that difference in the vibration. And so we just got to get our bodies comfortable in that higher vibration. We do that by working with our minds. Okay, so and I can't stress this enough, and I'm going to tell this to you over and over and over again. Your circumstances are nothing more than a reflection of your vibration. It's nothing more than a reflection of your inner thoughts and beliefs and programs. That's all your circumstances are. So if you want to change your circumstances, you've got to change your vibration. Because even if you work so hard at whatever it is you're doing and you hit your goal, if you're not actually a vibrational match, you will sabotage it. You will lose it. That is exactly what happened to me. I built my business to multiple 6 figures in just over 2 years by pure energy and grit. And almost the moment I hit it, I was afraid I would lose it. So I was stressed out when I didn't have money, and then I was stressed out when I did have money. See, my vibration didn't change the way that it needed to. So we enjoyed that higher level of prosperous living on the outside for a number of months. But on the inside, my vibration hadn't changed. And because my vibration hadn't changed, I had to go back down to where I was. So please learn from my example. Let's not do this. I've told you this before. If I can spare you that kind of trauma, then let's spare you that, okay? So we've got to make sure that we can create that vibration in our body and hold that vibration, which is why it's so crucial to ignore your circumstances to the degree, not that you're in denial, not that you're not handling bills, not that you're, pretending things don't exist, but really handling that with as little emotion as possible, and then really just diving into how you want things to look and how you want them to show up for you, and then getting that into your body through your mind. I'll show you how to do it. I know it sounds a little bit garbled. I promise it will get clearer as we go. Okay, so let's say that we are saying something like, oh, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy, I'm wealthy. Okay, in that example, we're claiming to be prosperous, okay? I am wealthy, I am rich. And what is happening, if your subconscious and your conscious minds aren't agreeing, that thought is hitting the filter and bouncing right out. And you can tell it's bouncing right out because you're actually feeling worse about your circumstances. Has anybody ever done this before and you actually feel worse doing the affirmation? Yeah, okay, so we want the affirmations to work for us and not against us. So we got to get the two minds to agree. That's why the wouldn't it be nice if it's such a powerful game, because it gets them into agreement immediately. And you're actually doing subconscious reprogramming when you're playing that game. Wouldn't it be nice if? Okay, so we got to get you out of that frequency of this is a lie and nothing's ever going to change no matter how much I say this, into what are the possibilities? Let's just say that this is true. How are we going to do this? Okay, what are we going to do? All right, so there are two. I apologize, ladies. Like, I'm looking at my notes and I went through them today and they are completely out of order. So that's very interesting that the universe has brought this up right here. All right, so I'm going to skip just a little bit and then I'm going to go back. We are going to talk about subconscious reprogramming. Who has their notes with them? Am I flipping all over the place with my notes? Okay, so we're gonna back up and we're gonna go to subconscious reprogramming and what it takes to reprogram your subconscious. We good there? Okay, and then if I've skipped anything, like I have here what needs to be filled in your notes, so I'm hitting all of those things, but I apologize, for some reason it's gotta go in a really weird order today. So subconscious reprogramming takes three things. It takes persistence, it takes tenacity, and it takes consistency. Because remember, your subconscious mind doesn't want to change. You're alive and you're safe. It is doing its job. Even though consciously you're like, but there's so much more and there's more within me that I want to express. Your conscious mind is like, but I don't know if we can survive there. Okay, so look at what happened in my above example. I pushed and energy and grit and built up this fabulous business. But underneath, my subconscious is going, we're not safe here. We're not safe here. We've never been here before. And instead of me working as I went, I just figured once the money was there, the vibration would change. And that's not true. So along the way, and that's how I chose to do it after it all dismantled, that, let's just raise the vibration of my body as we go, so that it feels very comfortable, it feels very natural when that money drops back down in again. And so we want to have friendly persuasion with our subconscious. We have to influence the subconscious using friendly persuasion. So we want to be thinking these thoughts in our conscious, letting it go through the filter and seeping down into that to influence the subconscious. And I'll show you some different ways that you can do that. In order for it to pass through the filter, and I want you to put stars around this and highlight and all of that, it has to be a dominant thought in your conscious mind until it's accepted on an emotional level. That's why so many people have such a beef about affirmations, because I've been doing affirmations for a half an hour every day for 30 days and nothing's changed. Well, but have you accepted it on an emotional level, or are you just saying the word? Remember, words are noise. Vibrations never lie. So it must remain a dominant thought until it's accepted on an emotional level. Okay? And there are two factors that determine the programs that run in the subconscious, okay? Just two factors. The first one are thoughts that are repeated often. So another way for dominant thoughts. And thoughts that are charged with emotion. Thoughts that are repeated often and thoughts that are charged with emotion. That's how we create everything, with our thought and with our emotion. Emotions are what put it in our subconscious mind, because where is the center of our emotion? In the subconscious. Remember, it's also known as our heart or our spirit. It is the center of our emotions. Okay, so if you have a hard time conjuring up the feeling when you're doing your affirmations, when you first start, don't stop that. Okay, because we've got to start somewhere. We've got to start where we're at. Use repetition. Okay, so if you're doing it for a half an hour every day for 30 days and you're still not feeling it, don't stop. Okay, because eventually you will get there. But now let's just tweak it a little bit and add the emotion into it. It's kind of like the difference between flying from Utah to Disney World and walking from Utah to Disney World. Okay, you're going to eventually get there. It's just going to take you a whole lot longer if you're just saying the affirmation without actually feeling it. Okay, so we want to supercharge that affirmation. If you feel like you're lying to yourself when you're starting the affirmation, it's okay. And let me tell you why. We lie to ourselves about things all day long. Remember the law of, what is that, relativity? Nothing has meaning until I give it meaning. Most of the time, we give meaning to a situation that does not support us. We create a story around it. And that story does not help us get to our dream. It doesn't help us to create more money. It doesn't help us to have greater relationships. It doesn't change our vibration. In fact, a lot of times, if it's going to change anything, it's going to make it go lower. So we lie to ourselves all day long anyway. If you're going to lie to yourself, you might as well lie constructively. Yes or yes? Okay? Yeah. Like we do, ladies, we lie to ourselves all day long. We make up stories all day long. So how about we tweak it just a tiny bit and lie constructively? So I want you to put that on your paper. Lie constructively. There's a story, I'm trying to remember. I can't even remember where I read it from. There was a story of a very famous opera singer who had massive stage fright before a performance one day, and it was attacking his throat. And he was known in the back. He started yelling, "Little me, stop it. You're trying to strangle the big me. The big me wants to get out and sing. Go away, little me." And he commanded that little part of him to depart, for lack of a better word. He was like, "Shut up and go away. The big me wants to come out and sing." And he went out and he gave this massively wonderful performance. Okay, so we've got the big me and we've got the little me. And so many times the little me is trying to strangle the big me. Like, no, that's too scary. We've never done that before. Or what? We've done it before, but what if it doesn't go right this time? Okay, so when that's happening, understand, oh, the little me's in here trying to strangle the big me. And so that's where you get to tell the little me, go away. The big me wants to come out and sing. It's time for the big me to come out and play. We're not going to listen to you. Thanks for sharing. We're not listening to you. All right, so let me give you an extra level to affirmation called affirmation. And Noah St. John is the one who's credited with coming up with the affirmations. He turns it into a question. So instead of I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous, I'm prosperous, or I'm healthy, I'm healthy, I'm healthy, he says, why am I prosperous? Why does everything always work out for me? Now, it's really important to understand it is not necessary for you to answer this question consciously. Okay, when I first learned affirmations, that took me sideways for quite some time. So I was like, I got to answer this question about why I'm wealthy when I'm not. I don't know. So all you're doing is asking the question, why am I prosperous? Why is this easy? Why do my dreams come true? Why do I have a great relationship with my husband? Why am I so confident? When you ask that question, it immediately goes to the subconscious, and the subconscious wants to answer it for you. Because the subconscious will bring up evidence to support whatever thought that you have. Why am I so stupid? Why can't I get this right? Well, then within time, you'll have all of this evidence about how you screw things up all of the time. So go the opposite direction. We got to get supportive with ourselves here and supportive with our dreams. Why is this so easy? Why is this so fun? Why is it so easy to reprogram my subconscious? And ask yourself those questions. Your subconscious will go to work to make this question true. Okay? So we want to ask questions that are powerfully supportive of you and of your dream. Because the subconscious wants to make you right all the time. And if money is a struggle, and that's the dominant thought, then your subconscious is going to go to work to make you right and to make that true. Okay? I am so excited for those of you who are coming to the intensive. And if you're still on the fence about that, may I encourage you to hop off the fence and come. I'm going to teach you a really powerful technique with affirmations that facilitates change really, really easily. So if you've got a business that you're wanting to start or that you're wanting to pump more life into, you can use this technique that I'm going to teach you there to absolutely supercharge things that are going on. It's so cool, and it changes your vibration so quickly. Okay, what we're doing right now is we're working on cause level to change our results. Okay, we're going into the computer program itself and we're erasing those mistakes. We're not erasing, we're deleting them so that when we print it out, it's the printout that we want. Like, yes, it's clean, it's bright, it's beautiful, it's exactly what I want, instead of taking that huge eraser to the printout and trying to change it on the printout. Okay? Well, I want you to heighten your awareness. Awareness is huge, and then action around that awareness makes the awareness really powerful. That's what institutes change. So the way you heighten your awareness is to ask yourself two questions. What do I think about often? And how do I feel about my present circumstances? What do I think about often? And how do I feel about present circumstances? So powerful, because if your thoughts and your emotions are the same as they have been, you're going to get more of the same. We don't want more of the same unless what you've got going right now is freaking awesome. And then we want more of the same. But get into awareness of that. Your thoughts and your emotions control your results. So if you want different results, we get to go to thought and emotion. That's what runs the programs in your subconscious. And that's what determines your results. It's not working harder. It's not getting another job. It's not working longer or pounding your body harder or just trying harder and, oh, I'll try this over here and I'll grab this over there. That's working with conditions and circumstances, and that's not going to bring you the lasting change that you're after here. The lasting change comes when we work with thought and emotion. Okay, can I give you an example of what thought and emotion tends to look like for most people? Can I give you an example of what it looks like? Okay. Oh my gosh, I can't believe it. Got another late charge from the bank again. Don't they know that if I had the money, I would pay it? And now I have more money that I have to pay. I am so sick of this. I am so tired of being broke. I'm working so hard to change this. Why isn't anything ever changing? I am so tired of this. Why don't things just change already? I am so sick of living this way. It is time. I've declared it. It's time to be done. Why won't things ever change? Anybody have a similar conversation like that in their mind before when they've looked at the bank account? Or you're like, I don't want to look. I don't want to look at what's not there. I don't want to see what's not there. Okay? When you do that, be really, really aware of what's going on, because what you are effectively saying to your subconscious and to the universe is, this is the way I want my life to be because I am so passionate about it. Dominant thought charged with emotion. What you're doing in this situation when you're super emotional about something, you're saying to your subconscious, pay attention, this is important. Pay attention, this is important. I can't tell you how many times I have laughed when people are like, I'm just so tired of drama. I don't like drama. I'm just so even-keeled, and I'm so tired of people that are dramatic around me. And I'm like, are you kidding me? You are like the queen of drama. Are you serious? Holy cow, like that, you thrive. You thrive on drama. That's because that's what they're telling their subconscious. They get so dramatic about it, okay? So pay attention. This is important, is really what's going on in your subconscious when you're super charged about something. And most of the time we get charged about something negative. Your subconscious and the universe do not recognize words of negation. They don't recognize don't. They don't recognize won't. They don't recognize wish it weren't. Because in that moment, okay, I don't want to be broke. What are you focused on in that sentence? You're focused on broke. Okay, and so it doesn't recognize don't. It recognizes whatever word is charged with emotion in that thought is what you're getting more of. Okay, so like massive awareness. And like you don't have to dive, ladies. I promise you don't have to dive into your subconscious. It's all there in your thoughts and in the programs that you're running. It's really cool. It can feel a little bit like, oh my word, I've got so much work to do. You really don't. It's just a little tweak, because the way you do one thing is the way you do everything. So we just need to change your stance over here, because most of the thoughts you had today, you had yesterday and the day before and 2 weeks before that. So it's not like you've got to get in there and change every single thought, because most of your thoughts are the same. So what's the difference between that and saying I can't? Oh, such a great question. That's what I was going next to. Okay. So we say, all right, can't is a word of negation, right? Like I can't do that. But what are you focused on in that sentence? I can't make $1 million. What are you focused on? You're focused on can't. I can't do that. It's too hard. I can't, it's too scary. I can't, I'm too tired. I can't, I'm not enough. I can't figure this out. I can't figure this out. How many of you have said that before? I just can't figure this out. Okay, so what are you focused on? What word in that sentence is charged with emotion? It's not figure it out, it's can't. So when you are focused on that word, whatever that word is, remember it's a command to your subconscious. Pay attention, this is important. I can't do this. You're right. Your subconscious is like, yep, you're right. And I'll show you how you can't. So even if you're like, I'm going to get the best training and I am going to work so darn hard with this, oh, that underlying vibration and what you're telling yourself is, I can't do this, I can't figure this out. You're not going to get it. Doesn't matter how good you are, doesn't matter if you work 22 hours a day, you're not going to do it. Okay, but it's just a tiny little tweak. It's a tiny little tweak. So how do we change it? We change it by getting passionate about what we want instead of what we don't want. Picture what it is that you want. Picture how it feels as if it's already happening. You move the thought from your head to your heart. You move the thought from your conscious to your subconscious through emotion, through letting yourself feel it and see it. And by doing this over and over and over again through repetition. If you shower every day, you don't have to raise your hand if you do or don't shower every day, but this would be a wonderful exercise to do in the shower. We shower every single day, or almost every single day. So what if for the 3 minutes or the 10 minutes or the 20 minutes you're in the shower, you commit to what is it I want, and I'm going to feel it, I'm going to see it in my mind, and I'm going to just live it for that 5 minutes I'm in the shower. It's really, really powerful. It's a powerful exercise to do. I got to think of the other one I learned from Joe Vitale, which is super cool. It'll come to me. It'll come to me if it's important during this call. Okay? All right, everybody on board still? Everybody understand? Everybody following? Okay? It's super simple. Okay? Super simple to do this. Okay? I'm going to give you some strategies. Don't be deceived by simplicity. All right? Einstein said, when the solution is simple, God is answering. Da Vinci said simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. And I know that's in your notes because that's one of my favorite quotes. Simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. We live in this really, really complex society, but a confused mind does nothing. So if there's 84 steps in a triple backflip with a pike that has to happen, we're not going to do it because it gets too confusing too quickly. If you've ever gone to an event where there's several different speakers, which is the one that you remember the most? The one that was simplest in explaining their method or their strategy or whatever it is that they want to teach you. You want to keep it really, really simple. Now the challenge we run up against with simplicity is we say, oh my gosh, that's so easy. Oh yeah, I could totally do that in the shower for 5 minutes every day. That is simple. I'll do it later. A lot of times we get caught in that trap as well. Oh, that's so easy, I'll do it later. I'm too busy right now, I'll do it later. Okay, so be an awareness of that. Use your filter to your advantage at all times. Okay, it's there to help you. So when you're awake and you're spinning, bounce those negative ideas or those negative thoughts out of your mind. Let me show you what it looks like to me. So you can get a good idea. And I see this in my mind all the time. I've got a non-supportive thought that's coming to my mind. Looks like that. Can you see it? So here the thought comes in. This is not supporting me. Boom, out you go. Bing. So it looks like a check mark to me. And I just bounce it right off. And it just ricochets right off the filter. Okay, so picture that in your mind when you're awake. And when you're like, oh, this is too hard, or whatever that thought is that comes up to how it's not supporting you, out you go. Boom, boom, flick. Let's just check mark you right out of your mind. And sometimes you got to do it a lot. Okay, remember, subconscious reprogramming takes persistence, it takes consistency, and it takes tenacity. Okay, but it's not hard, right? It's not hard. It's just a little tricky. Okay, now emotions are the effects of thoughts. Remember, we learned that in the mental laws. Thoughts cause emotions. Emotions do not cause thoughts. Okay, so when you're spinning an emotion, it's a really great exercise to go back to what you were thinking just before that to make you spin. Or if you're feeling frustrated or discouraged or upset, or if you're feeling elated, if you're feeling on fire, if you're feeling joyful, definitely trace that thought as well, because we want more of that. Oh, I was thinking about how grateful I am for things. I'm thinking about how on top of the world I feel, how unstoppable I feel. And that's why I'm feeling so expansive. Sarah says, I say not useful when negative thoughts come in my mind and I get rid of them. Ooh, that's awesome. Not useful. Yeah, not useful, not needed. Out you go. You're not helping. Sometimes you can say, yeah, thanks for sharing. We're doing it anyway. Or thanks for sharing. We're doing it this way. A lot of times we do want to acknowledge, but we don't want to die. We don't be like, now, why are we thinking that right now? We just want to say, yeah, thanks for sharing. Out you go. We don't, because we don't care. Okay? So you can play the what's working for me game. Have I taught you this game before? I can't remember. About spinning in dark emotions and pulling things from your immediate environment. I know you know it, Tia, because you came to my class when I taught it. Have you got other ladies heard this before? Okay, so let me tell you really quickly how to play this game. This is a really, really awesome game if you're spinning in discouragement, or you're upset, or like any of those negative emotions. So no matter what environment you're in the moment, you start pulling in things that are already working for you. So many people will say, oh, go to gratitude. Go to gratitude is the most powerful thing. And they're right. But if you're down here and gratitude's up here, you can't make that count. You have to do it incrementally. You can't just be like, and I'm grateful for my whole life that's falling apart and we're about to die and nothing is working. Like, I've done that. Anybody done that before? Like, I'm going to list these things that I'm grateful for, and that's all I'm doing. Words. My vibration is super, super low. So when you're in that situation, start pulling things from your environment that are working. So when I did this, I was driving in the car. And I'm like, okay, well, the car's working. So that's working for me. It's going to get me to where I need to go. That's working for me. My feet are comfortable. I've got some comfortable shoes. That's working for me. My hair's working for me today. I feel pretty confident about what I'm wearing. I can turn on the radio and I'll get music in the car. That's working for me. The beautiful day outside, that's working for me. And I said that out loud. Okay, what's working for me? What's working for me? I didn't go to try to fix anything in my situation that was causing the spin. I left all of that alone. I didn't try to go to, I'm an amazing woman and I have a fabulous family. Like, I didn't go there. I pulled dumb, insignificant little things. Like, the biggest thing for me to help me get out of that funk was that we have heated leather seats and my butt was warm. I'm like, oh, my butt's warm. And that's working for me because I can do anything if my butt is warm. So it was like tiny little dumb stuff like that. It took me 2 minutes. I looked at the clock when I started, and then I looked when I started feeling better. It took me 2 minutes to pop out of that spin. Now, I continued to do it through the whole 20-minute drive because I was feeling better and better. But it's like these tiny little things like, I know how to drive. That's working for me. There's no traffic. That's working for me. Oh, I can see what time it is. My eyes work. My ears work. Like all of that. My hands are working on the steering wheel. Tiny little things, and that will help pop you out of that spin, and that will raise your vibration. Okay, because we got to get your body used to a higher vibration. We got to do whatever we can to get your body used to that. Music is really, really powerful in raising the vibration of our body. What we're watching, the media that we're listening to or that we're participating in, has a huge influence on where our vibration is. Why do you think 97% of the population feels broke and they're in scarcity, and 3% of the population control 97% of the money? Because of the vibration. And we're taught by society to live in fear and to live in scarcity. It's a powerful method of control. And so what are you reading right before you go to bed? What are you watching right before you go to bed? What are you surrounding yourself with throughout the day to help with that vibration? Essential oils are awesome to help your body move into a higher vibration, so long as it's a pure oil, because oils are the highest vibration in the plant kingdom. They don't have to, there's nothing mystical about oils. If they're done properly and they're not filled with fillers like alcohol and things like that, they have a very high vibration and they help your body ease into a higher vibration. Same thing with like crystals and rocks and minerals and things. They're the highest vibrating things in the mineral kingdom. So it's not like, oh, we've infused this with the power of the divine. You can certainly pray, and that's a vibration as well. But like, if we want to get really practical, they just vibrate the highest in the mineral kingdom. And we want to have high vibrating things around us. My daughter has a rose quartz crystal. Is it a rose quartz or just a regular quartz? It's a calming stone for her. And it helps her with her anxiety. It's got a really high vibration, so it helps her body into that higher vibration. It's really cool how we're surrounded by these things to help us raise our vibrations. But I am getting off topic. Well, kind of, but I want to give you some other things that you can surround yourself with. Really inspirational talks, really inspirational music. Like I said on our first call, that 520 megahertz, you can YouTube a ton of those vibrations, of those hertz, and get a ton of things like that clear your chakras and that clear out not feeling confident. They help you, like they call them like miracle tones, and they're very soothing to me. So if I'm writing something, I'll generally turn that music on because it helps with my vibration. So like when I was writing my book, I'll turn that music on. Other times when I'm like, I gotta bust this thing out, I'll turn on epic battle music, and that creates a different vibration. Okay, and it's like, oh yeah, I can do this. Like I get my Wonder Woman on and move through that. So it's just amazing. So any trick that you can use to help your body hold that higher vibration, use it to your advantage. Okay, and then we're doing subconsciously as well, working with our subconscious. Okay, the best tip that I can give you is to use authority when you are reprogramming your subconscious. So when there is stuff coming up, Talk to your subconscious with authority. You got to know what you're doing, and you got to know why you're doing it. Okay, and that gives you a very powerful position. Like, this is not working for me here. This is a small thought. You need to get out. Not, oh, I'm starting to feel bad, and it's probably true, but I should not be thinking this. I should be thinking about something better. And I'm just pulling from my own conversations I've had in my own head. Instead of like taking that stance of authority, like, get out. A lot of times I'll say, enough. This is not getting me where I want to go. Out. And your subconscious mind will obey that. So authority, okay? Talk with authority, not meanness. We don't want to be this awful dictator, but we want to speak with authority. We want to command. All right, we're in a position of commanding. The best time to reprogram your subconscious is as you're falling asleep at night and right as you're waking up in the morning, because this is when that filter is at its weakest. It's not on guard at that point. So we want to do it as we're falling to sleep. Now, people talk about hypnosis and like, oh, we got to do all of these weird things and play this music, and I can't hypnotize myself. Oh, you hypnotize yourself all the time. Every day you're in a state of hypnosis. If you're feeling drowsy, you're in a state of hypnosis. If you've ever driven the car, like I've never driven from one place to another and then wondered how I got there. I've never had that experience, but many times I have the experience of, did I just run a red light or was that light green? I was in a state of hypnosis when that light turned and I didn't even notice, but my subconscious did, and then I responded. My body responded to that. So a really great time to reprogram, like I said, is as you're falling to sleep, because your body is in a relaxed state. So you can very easily put yourself into a state of hypnosis just by sitting down and taking a breath and closing your eyes and telling your body, oh, we're just going to relax for a minute. We're going to relax. And as you find yourself getting that drowsiness, that's when you get into and start reprogramming. What do I want? Why do I want it? Oh, so now we're living the life that we want to live. What does it look like? What does it feel like, more importantly? What are we doing? How do I show up? What am I wearing? How do I walk? How do I carry myself? Who am I with? That is the perfect time to do it. I love doing that as I'm drifting off to sleep. Who am I? I'm that woman who makes X amount of dollars a year or a month, or I'm that author who has this many books out and this many fans, or I am that artist who does this. Like, whatever that looks like, whatever you want it to look like, that's the best time to be doing that, because you're in a state of relaxation and your filter is not fully on guard. Okay, this is when we use that friendly persuasion on the subconscious, because we've been talking about it. The subconscious is stubborn. It's here to keep you alive and safe and nothing else. It doesn't like change, no matter how amazing that change is. Okay? What we're doing, if we want to look at it one way, is we're changing the rules on the subconscious. All this talk about prosperity and changing your inner stance, we're changing the rules of the game. And the subconscious is like, oh, no, we're not, because we might die in this new game. And our conscious knows we won't, and it's for our better. But that subconscious kicks in and gets really protective, because it doesn't know if it can keep you alive and safe in those conditions. Okay, so that's all that's going on. It doesn't want to go there because it doesn't know how to cope. All right, that's all it is. So we do some friendly persuasion and we get emotive about it. We get into the emotion of it. And then that literally sends that signal and that vibration into our body, and we start sending out a new signal. And that's how we pull in similar people. We pull in opportunities. We pull in events. We pull in situations, because now our body is in a different frequency, and now you've got different opportunities that come to you. It's super fun to talk to my clients who are in this higher vibration, and they're like, oh my gosh, I've got all of these opportunities. Yeah, as you're in a higher vibration, opportunities, that's where they hang out. Opportunities hang out in these higher vibrations. But sometimes we can get a little bit sidetracked by the opportunities. So as you're raising your vibration, you're going to notice opportunities come to you, but make sure that you keep really focused on what is in your vision statement. What is it that you want to create? And is this opportunity going to match and get you closer to what it is you want to create? You're going to have people who want to work with you. You're going to have people who are going to want to, collaborate with you on different things, and that can actually take you off on a sidetrack. So just measure it again. So is this going to take me one step closer to what I want? It is. Awesome. Let's do it. Oh, this one's not. We're going to shelf it. And then it's really easy to pick and choose the opportunities that you want. Okay? Wouldn't it be nice if is so powerful. So powerful. I can't think of a more powerful game to play than wouldn't it be nice if. Now, Joe Vitale has an exercise. I'm trying to remember what he calls it. He calls it, I can't remember, but when I do, then I'll post it. But basically what it is you imagine yourself 30 days in the future and what it is that you want to have created in 30 days and be really specific. So if it's like X amount of dollars or X amount of clients or X amount of pounds released or this much in my book done or like whatever that is, but really specific. And then you spend 20 minutes a day going into that. What does it look like? What does it feel like? What am I doing? What am I wearing? I'm like, oh, wouldn't it be nice if, but it's for a long period of time. If you think about 20 minutes, now I've done this and it's like, it can get a little bit, challenge is not even the right word, but it's like, I'm used to doing it in 3-minute increments or 5-minute increments. And when you set it for 20 minutes, he calls it, it's IMing. It's intentional meditation. Thank you, angels. Intentional meditation is what he calls it. So you go into this meditation for 20 minutes. But basically what you're doing is playing Wouldn't It Be Nice If for 20 full minutes. But he says, get relaxed, close your eyes. You're getting yourself into a state of hypnosis just by relaxing and doing that. And then it's, okay, we're now 30 days. It's now 30 days out. And this is what we've created. Oh, how does it feel? And what does it look like? And what are we doing? And how do I speak? Like all of those things that I've just been saying. You do that for 20 minutes every day for 30 days. It's like, and then watch what happens. And that's actually a long time. Remember we talked last month about it takes 17 seconds to activate that new vibration, right? We want to hold the vibration for 17 seconds. If you're holding a vibration for 20 minutes at a time, that puts you in a very, very powerful position to start attracting those things to you that are going to help facilitate your dream. It's really, really cool. I did it. I haven't done it for 30 days yet, but it's massive what it'll bring to you. It's very, very cool. Okay, so let me give you another technique. It's called wealth success. And you can do this as you're nodding off to sleep. But all you say to yourself are the words wealth success. Wealth success. You want to do this. Joseph Murphy taught when you're doing subconscious reprogramming that you do it out loud but softly, so quietly and lovingly and with authority. But when you just say the words wealth success, there's really no charge to it because you're not saying I am wealthy. It's not an affirmation. It's just those words, but words carry a vibration. Every word carries a specific frequency. And so when you're infusing your mind with wealth success as you're going to sleep, it helps you to naturally raise your vibration. Although, pay attention if it does. And if those words don't resonate with you, but other words do, then use those. But pay attention to what bubbles up. Does it make you feel anxious? Does it make you feel excited? Because those words can actually trigger things that are in your subconscious that you don't know were there. That's the experience that I had with wealth success. And I had to put those away for a little while and work on my vibration in different ways and then reincorporate those. That's a really, really great place to start. You don't want to go into affirmations, but you still want to do some, okay, let's get my body used to this higher vibration. And let's just do it using these two simple words, wealth success, or whatever those words are that you choose. Okay. I think I got through everything. Did you guys get everything covered in your notes? Like, do we get all the blanks filled in and stuff? There's some other activities that you get to do or exercises you get to do on your own. But did I cover everything, like with the fill in the blanks? Even though my notes were all skiwampus. Awesome. Okay. Fantastic. Okay, so look at this. We didn't even take an hour and 45 minutes today. This is super cool. But what I would love to hear is, what technique are you going to try this next week? Because I want you to commit to it. I want you to post your experience in the group. So I'm going to unmute everybody. And if you want to share what you want to try on this week, let's share. Okay, you're all unmuted.
It's not for this class.
What do you want to try? You want to try wealth, success? Do you want to try wouldn't it be nice? Although that one I think you should try on all the time. You can try it in the shower. You're going to try 20 minutes a day. Sarah, what were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying when falling asleep. That's what I want to do.
Ooh, awesome. Yeah, that's when you can do tonight, is when you're falling asleep. So which one are you gonna do? Are you gonna do the wouldn't it be nice if, or are you gonna do wealth, success? Or are you gonna choose two other words to try on when you're falling asleep?
No, wouldn't it be nice if?
Awesome. And will you post in the group and let us know, like do it for a couple of nights and let us know what you felt, if anything, during that. Sweet. Anybody else want to share what they're going to do?
I'm going to do the 20 minutes of intentional meditation, the 20-minute thing.
Awesome. Definitely let us know how that goes, Joseph. I found that to be so powerful. Or have Tia post.
Sure.
Or have her tell us next week in the call.
Okay.
We would love to hear that. Awesome. Let's see. Denise is doing affirmations. Ooh, cool. That's fantastic. Trying out those affirmations. Very awesome. Anybody else want to share?
I'm excited to do the 20 minutes as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's super cool. Super cool. And I would say commit for a week. Commit every day for a week to start, and then see how you feel. Remember, because that's how we create our reality, is our emotions and our thoughts, and then go because I'd love for you to do it for 30 days, but try it for a week. Give yourself a small thing to jump to, and then increase from there. So awesome. Okay, well, I gave you several things that you can do. Let's see, Lucia says, me too, I will also do 20 minutes for 30 days, as I am already doing it for 15 minutes a day. Check it out. That's a wonderful next step to take, Lucia. Fantastic. Beautiful. All right. Well, has this been helpful tonight?
Mm-hmm.
You have some good things. Does it give you some greater awareness about what's going on in here? Take some of the mysticism away from it? Mm-hmm. Your subconscious mind isn't scary at all, and it's not hard. It just takes some consistency. And Lucia says, thanks. So, okay. Well, you guys have homework tonight. Those of you who were doing the wouldn't it be nice if on your way to sleep. So I'm excited to hear your results and how you're doing with all of that. So we've got our call time, same place next week. And I'm excited to hear what's going on in the group. So yeah, thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you all next week. Sound good? Thanks, guys. Have a good night.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.